could we decide to, because it's coaching, so it's confidential.
Go ahead and start. I'm going to start recording now, so then it will be available to others that are not able to attend this morning.
Okay, cool.
So first of all, good morning, everyone. Very glad that you could join us for this Sales and Business Development webinar addressing the Scaling Up Challenges. I remind you that this is the first one of the nnoVest Investment Readiness webinars. It has been organized by EBN, but our trainer today is Philippe Diep. He will be live coaching you, and he is a business coach at Ideon Innovation. So he's a serial entrepreneur, a business coach, speaker, and coach on the reality show Luxury Trap: Challenges, Raise Awareness, and Inspire to Action. So the objective today is to really have an interactive session in which Philip will be available and keen to answer your questions. So please don't be shy. I've sent most of you who have registered some questions already to get you thinking about your #1 company challenges, your personal challenges, and if there are any advice that could help you once you leave this session today, this webinar. So, so please feel free to ask questions, to get involved. You will be able to engage through the chat, and then if you also want to speak out, then please say it on the chat and I'll be able to unmute you. So I think at this point I can leave the floor to Philip, and yeah, thank you.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I was about to say good to see you, but I can't see you. I can only hear you. And I want to say thank you to some of the people who sent in their questions, like Søren, Edon, Jordi, Jean-Luc, and Dispositivos Medicos. So thank you. I've chosen a few of you that I will start coaching because I think the questions that you brought to the seminar or to the webinar has some that there's some mutual interest in those kind of questions. So I just want to say something about coaching. So coaching is not about, if you're the client, if you're the one about to be coached, it's not about answering questions. Even though I ask questions, it's not about answering questions. It's not like in school, like when your teacher, they ask a question, they have the answer. I don't have the answer, then I wouldn't ask you the question. So it's not about answering questions. It's about trying to find more clarity in the questions that you might have. So I want to ask you, for the people who are going to be coached, I'm going to ask you for a couple of things. One, be emotionally present. It's not an intellectual training. It's about you. It's about you. It's not a generic thing. It's not about like, how do I grow? I don't know. Like, who do you want to grow up to? Like, what is grow for you? It's not an intellectual or generic kind of questions that we're going to deal with. It's about you. So be emotionally present. Switch off your phones, your emails, your everything. Because if you're not present during the coaching, you will have an impact on the whole webinar. So that's #1, be present. #2, be coachable. Be ready to discover stuff about yourself that you didn't know. And #3, I will challenge you. I'm always on your side, and I will challenge you to create more clarity. Also, the last thing, if you start to tell me your life story, like this is what I did, like blah, 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 I will pause you. I will just say pause to go back to the essence in your question. So, okay, great. So we have a couple of people here. We have Adon Ramadani. Adon, are you there? Can we let Adon in? Because I would like to see if he's there, and I would like to start coaching him.
Yeah.
So Adon, can we also have him on video, or is it just voice?
It's just voice. And
it's just voice. Okay.
We can hear Adon now.
Okay, Adon, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, Don.
I
Hello.
Hello?
Do we have Adon there?
He is unmuted, so we should be able to hear him.
Okay, so let's give him another 10 seconds and see if he's there. Okay, so let's try another one. Let's try Søren or Soren Bodkev. Let's try to get him online.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Søren, you're
Can you hear me
unmuted.
now? This is Søren.
Hi, Søren.
Hi.
Thank you for sending in your question. So, are you ready to be coached?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. So, even though you're gonna do the work for the rest of the people in the webinar, just be focused on yourself. Don't care about the other people. So you had a few questions, so I'm gonna read the first question. So what's your #1 company challenge? And you said to ensure funding to the company within 1 year. So we're gonna start with that one. So just out of curiosity, what is the company doing?
We are doing batteries for energy storage of solar panel energy. It's a new type of battery. So we are a startup company, a development company that is building a new product.
So how far away are you from a finished product?
A finished product is very broad because the product is probably never going to be finished. But I expect us to be ready to go to some kind of a mass production within 1 year.
Okay. So how far? Because you're talking about ensure funding, and then you're also talking about what's your personal challenge to choose the right kind of investor, industrial VC or BA. So for how long are you funded right now?
Our funding is 2 years or something about that from now. But if we want to scale up, we need to have another investor coming in of helping us doing that scale up. But the development side, we are fixed for 2 years or something like that.
Okay. So where have you been funded?
We have in fact two kind of funding. We have a early investor, early technology investor. Is kind of a public funding, but also a private funding. It's some risk. It's a very risky VC in funding, and then we have some public funding through some projects.
Okay, so I'm assuming, I'm assuming, I'm making up that the investors, the early stage investors that you had, are as interested in future funding as you are. Is that correct?
That's correct. But we are lucky. They're not this kind of investor that has a 4-5 year plan that they have to go out, and they're also they don't want to have their money back 5 or 6 times. So there's some kind of public funding in that investment. So they are not really a VC, a tough VC.
So
but they are interested.
They are not. Are they protecting their investment, or do they want to see their investment grow?
I want to see it grow.
Okay.
Of course.
So because sometimes it can feel pretty lonely to be the entrepreneur or the founder of the company, and really, if you have another investor, it might serve you to have a discussion with the other investor about whose responsibility is future investments. Is it you, or is it them, or is it a mix? So have you had that kind of a discussion with them?
Yes, we have, and I have, and that is a mix. But I'm not sure that we are, because they have some normal investors they are putting in the second round.
Okay.
And I'm not sure that that kind of investor, that the investor didn't want to put in, I'm pretty sure I don't want to go into bed with them because of some bad experience from my past.
Sorry, you don't want to go into what?
The investor they have come up with, and could be a possibility, I don't want to have that in the company, because I have had some bad experience from previous jobs with this investor.
Okay, so have they? So what was your part? Have they invested in your company before, like another company, or?
No, in a previous job, and I helped another company where that was part of it.
Okay, and I'm also assuming that people change and companies change, and
Yeah.
that sometimes we are not curious enough if they have changed, because we always think that we ourselves we change. So would that be a relevant question to ask them? Like, this is my perspective on you as an investor, and I would like to be challenged on my perspective. Would that be a relevant question to bring in?
I'm not sure, because they also invested in another company where I have some, not personally, but some personal friend that is involved in that, and it is the same as it was before. And that's also maybe part of my question, because they are VC, and I'm not sure that a VC is the right choice for our company next time.
So what is your dream investor? If we just
in the end, it is industrial investor.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, but the problem is it now or should I wait? That's also something to do about the value of the company, but also what would I like to do?
Okay,
Coming
great.
to the personal stuff.
So great. So sometimes, and I'm not saying it's you, but I'm just in generic terms. Sometimes we want to make the right decision, so we tend to kind of be sure what the next step is before we approach. So another way of looking at it could be approach a few investors, get a yes or no, and then make the decision about who's the right investor or not.
Yeah, I follow you.
Okay, so could that be a way to go for you, like just to shoot a little wilder?
Yeah, and that's also what I would like to. I want to talk to them again, of course, because you should never say, because you don't want to shut down some doors, because if I can't find another investor, I have to find somebody. And if that's my first choice, maybe I should go for the second choice.
Okay. So sometimes investors is like standing in a bar, like the person who has the most attention in the bar would get even more attention.
Yeah.
And so getting this investor, getting a yes from this investor could make you more attractive to other investors as well.
Yeah. But there's also maybe some personal thing about that, because if I go to one and they say yes, I should then have the balls of saying no, and that way shutting that door down.
And thank you for your honesty there. And so it's all about designing the agreement. So one thing is to ask people like, hey, can you invest in our company? Another thing is, we are right now in a process of checking out what investors would serve our business the most. And I would really like to talk to you and see what kind of offer you can give us, and then we will consider all the offers and be really open and honest and get back to you with, you know, what we think about your offer.
Yeah.
So it's not about promising them to say yes. It's about, you know, checking out what's there.
Yeah.
Would that give you bigger balls?
It will, because I don't want to you maybe at a later stage meet the same people, and that time it could be the right fit. So that could be a way of doing it. Yeah.
So you said as a number 3, the question was, if you could walk away with one thing that would help you, what would that be? And you said a process that will lead me to choose the right investor. So what else do you need to make this call valuable for you?
Yeah, but I think I should look at potential investors and then have a discussion with them of how they could fit into our plan for the future, and then make a decision based on that. And that way, not shutting a door for a later cooperation with them.
Okay.
That
Great.
would be,
So if you would commit to something right now, right here, like a promise to yourself, what would you commit to do?
I would commit to try to start up with making a potential list of who could be the potential people I want to talk to, and then after that, together with the other investor, make a priority, or let's talk to them and see what they have to say.
Okay. So in the best of worlds, how many would you like to have talked to before, like within 2 weeks?
In 2 weeks, I will not talk to anybody. That's too early. But in 3 months, I think I would like, or half year, I would like to approach five potential investors.
Okay. Could you make that like one every 3rd week?
I think in the place we are right now, it's a little bit too early, because we want to have a prototype up and running before we go to them.
Okay.
So I think within 3 months I could set it up, and every 2-3 week I would talk to somebody.
So you said something really interesting in the beginning. I said, so when is your product ready? And you said, it's never ready. And maybe it's the same metaphor that you could use on financing.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
So sometimes we think we need to make the decisions all on our own. And somebody once said something to me, and I have a mantra, and it's like, an entrepreneur's mind is like bad neighborhood. Don't go there by yourself. So sometimes you need to, it's like you have to make all the decisions. You can also ask the investors and say, hey, here's where we are. Is this too early for you? Is this kind of, is this where you want to start the discussion? And they will tell you.
Yeah, but I agree, but shouldn't I also have the other investor on board on that? Because they also have some interest in doing it, so we need to do it together.
So a challenging question to them could be, okay, no. So what do you want to commit to?
I want to commit to within the next month. I will set up a potential list. Then I will talk to our current investor of this potential, because maybe they also have somebody to add to that. And then within 3 months, I will start out, go on and talk to them.
Okay, cool. Great. So have you got what you came for?
Yes, I did. Thank you very much.
I want to say thank you for stepping up and doing the work for all the other people also. So thank you. And really, I mean, it takes the first one to start. So good luck, and
thank you.
Great talking to you. Yeah. Okay. Good. Thanks. Okay. So now we're ready for throw in your questions. Throw in your if you have a question you want to be coached on, you can do that in the chat section right now. So just throw in your questions, and we will pick more people for coaching. And let's see if we have. So we have somebody called Jordi Vidiella. Are you there?
Let me check if they're online. Jordi. No, we don't have Jordi.
Okay. So do we have Adon still?
Adon, yes. He's unmuted. Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's try Adon then.
Hello?
Adon, are you there?
I'm afraid not.
Okay. So let's see. Do we have anybody else who would like to take the opportunity to be coached? If not, this will be the end of the seminar or the webinar. So it's up to you. You are responsible for the content and I take responsibility for the process. So are people, Clara, Lisa, are people able to chat? Because there's actually nothing in the chat.
Yes, yeah. Perhaps, Philip, you can take us maybe a bit through some of the things on sales and business development, or use some random example of scaling up challenges and see how this could be applied to any of them, and maybe it spurs up some questions.
So, thank you. I might want to do that, and what I will do is I will try to raise some more awareness around some of the questions that came in the first round. So Jordi, Jordi's not here, and I will use Jordi's questions because I think there is learning for a lot of people. I'm assuming, I'm making that up. So, so the first question is, what's your #1 company challenge? Social collaboration. What's your personal challenge? Make world a better place. And if you could walk away with one thing that would help you, what would that be? More experience. This is a clear case of, and I know that we're talking about somebody who's not here, and I really don't care about that because the person was ready to be coached. So I'm actually going to use the questions to help other people on the webinar. This is a clear example of a person in the question who are not taking responsibility for their own leadership. Because if you could walk away with one thing that would help you, what would that be? More experience. In what? What experience is it that you want? What would you use that experience for? How would that serve you? How do you know that? That is the kind of question that you need to ask yourself, because change and success and growth, it's not always a matter of knowledge or more experience or competence. It's a matter of doing. And I'm going to give you an example. If you ask somebody who is really, really overweight, if you would ask them, what do you need to eat to lose weight, they would know. They would know that more than anyone who is not overweight. So it's the same with entrepreneurship. It's not about, sometimes it's about knowledge, sometimes it's about using the knowledge that you already have and put yourself in movement. So I just want to state that out. So I'm really, really grateful for Jordi's answers, because it's created something around personal leadership, actually. Yeah. So let's see if we have any more people who wants to be coached here. I'm hearing that it's all silent now, so I don't know if I'm being heard. Clara Lisa, am I being heard?
Yes, yes, yes. I had to unmute it myself.
Okay, good.
So,
okay, cool.
I know we have 26 listeners here today. I'd really just like to encourage anyone to bring up any questions they might have. This is really an opportunity to get some live coaching from a very expert coach. And no. Well, maybe I'll ask you some questions and see if
Okay, cool.
you can help me in a theoretical way.
Okay,
So,
great.
say I have I have my startup and I've reached, let's say I've reached my 3 years goal, and I'm now active in my home country, and I'm happy this way. So, but I have other people in my team which want to expand, and they're maybe more, let's say, ambitious, and they'd like us to take it to more international countries. So I think I see that as my scale-up challenge. So how do I go from where I am now and in a place where, let's say, I have my first batch of revenues, and then is it let's say, is it a mistake to try and then expand overseas, or should I stay where I am now and see if I can expand nationally?
Okay, so thank you for the question, and I would, in the question there's always another question. So like, what's the question behind the question? So sometimes people are really focused on, let's go international, let's scale up internationally. What the question you need to ask yourself is, do we want to grow or not? Okay, so yes or no? Yes, we want to grow. So what is the best way to grow? So what is the question behind the question best? What is the best way? So is it about growing fast? Is it about being more profitable? Is it about reducing risks? Is it about selling the same product or service over and over again? What are we really talking about? Because sometimes when we look internationally, like I want to expand, I want to go international, that might also be an escape from really looking at what can we do better on our own home market to really attract more business. Because going internationally, sometimes you need to do so many changes to your business that you can't really benefit from the extra sales you're getting. So that's kind of the question behind the question. Why do I want to go international? I want to grow. Why do I want to grow? Okay, can I grow? Have I tried everything here possible to grow here? Yes or no? Okay, then I can make the decision if I want to go international. And the first mistakes a lot of people do when they go international is that they don't copy their own business. So like if your example let's say you're in Italy and you're doing business with, maybe, let's say you sell products and you're making business with the independent stores. The number one mistake a lot of people do is that if they might want to go into Germany, for example, they pick one of the chain stores, a really big one like MediaMarkt or whatever, and they try to sell to that big chain store, and they're not getting any sales. And then they're thinking, shit, Germany is a shit market, or we can't go international. But the only problem is that you are not trying to copy the kind of customers or the sales you're doing in your own country to another country. You're totally shifting. And there is a reason why you've been so successful in the independent stores in your own country. It's because it suits independent stores. So that's like try to copy as much as possible of your own business into the new market that you're going to. So did that give you something to work on, Clara-Lisa? Hello?
Hello?
Clara-Lisa?
Yes, I
Hello.
have. Yeah, so definitely. I mean, I think you're giving me questions that make me reflect onto, let's say, possible next steps. So I think it's a lot about reflection, and then asking myself then the correct questions to then maybe take on the right things to do. So perhaps I can build on that and say, for example, if I have a product at the moment and we're in a place where we're able to expand, how do I choose where to expand? I mean, is it just about market research and then that's my answer, or is there any strategy behind this that could help me make the right choice?
Okay, cool. And there's also one thing. let's take the example with the independent stores, even if it's not valid to a lot of people here. So the people in your own country or on your own market, they would probably, I mean, they're going to trade shows, they're hanging out, they have Facebook, they probably have people in their network on the markets you want to go to. And the good thing, if you ask a retailer in, for example, Italy, like, do you know somebody in Germany that I could talk to? They would probably know, and they would also be happy to give you that contact because it's actually not interfering with their business. They're not a competitor. They're in another market. That's the sweet thing. Okay, cool. Do you have any more questions, Carlisa? And thank you for doing the work for the attendees.
Okay, so perhaps we can look at issues with leadership. So in a team, let's say in a team of 3, I know there's always some problems when you want to expand and you're developing your startup. You might have issues with the dynamics within the team, and also you have the person that found it, but then perhaps you start hiring and things start to take more directions than just the one of the founder. Can you give us some tips perhaps on, let's say, trying to keep the ship going in the same direction when the startup is being, let's say, bombarded with more opportunities, more sales, more expansion?
Yeah, okay. So I will do that, and I just want to check one thing also. Can we just check that the chat is actually working? So can somebody, even if you don't have a question, can you just type in hi? Somebody of the attendees, just type in hi or hello or whatever. Can we get some response from any of the attendees? Please put in something in the chat like hi or your name or hello or... So we're not getting anything. So I'm making up that as the chat is so silent that people can actually not chat. So I don't want to be missing out people's questions. Is it something we can look into, Clara-Lisa?
Yes, I'm looking into it. I have the chat here, but it's empty, so... Okay, we have a hello from Jess.
Okay.
Okay, perhaps we can let Jess ask questions.
Okay, Jess, what kind of questions do you have? Thanks for stepping up.
No, sorry, it's Jesus, not Jess. Jesus Salgado. We can hear you now.
So I don't see anything in the chat.
Yes, I put some comments here in the chat.
Okay.
You should be able to see them.
So I'm just going to help. I'm just going to need some technical assistance here. So Clara-Lisa, I do not see anything in the chat. Do we need to do something?
Well, we have Salgado online now, so perhaps you can just ask us the questions directly.
Okay, we will do that. Okay, cool. So thank you for stepping up. So what kind of questions do you have?
I sell and produce and sell and develop a CRM for hotels. And I am well, in principle, due to lack of resources, we are selling indirectly. So we're looking for partners in each market. But sometimes I really have the struggle on first whether that strategy is correct, because the other strategy, having my own sales force, maybe would be more controllable, because distributors is well, I take a chance, and then there's chances that it will work, but many chances that it will not work, and it depends on the incentive or the other projects that the distributor may have. But on the other side, it's very cheap because they are only going for variable. And so when they sell, I pay, and that's also well, I don't take that much risk as if I went in a sales. And obviously, I have the resource limitation of having my own sales. So I would like to see your vision on what's the best way to go, or how you think it should be structured, this question.
Okay, so what I hear is that you're pretty clear, like you have a lot of knowledge of like the pros and cons of going through distributors, which is great. So so there's one thing, sometimes we choose a distributor where we do not get the attention that we deserve or that we want. And it might have to do with the kind of setup at the distributor. Maybe, I mean, are they bringing in your product? What I would like to ask you is, what's their why? Or maybe you should ask them, like, why do they want to bring in your product? Is it to have a full catalog? Is it to have something that they are exclusively selling, which means that they can control the margin? Is it something that they want to be able to sell other products? Like, what's their why? Do you know that?
Well, normally they also sell other products to hotels and other non-competitors' products that are somehow compatible with our product, and therefore they can cross-sell our product to their already existing customer base.
And is that what they are saying, or is that your assumption?
Well, this is along with the conversations that we normally have before signing. This is well, the main. I mean, we have a number of distributors, and it's a very generic idea. It's not their main activity. That's the problem. I mean, it's not their main focus, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. No?
Okay, so if your product isn't important enough for the distributor, it will not be important enough for them. So sometimes it's about all or nothing. So I'm just gonna give you an example. So sometimes when we are a startup, or when we are new, or we have a new product and we're not really well known on the market, sometimes we do not set the terms fair enough for our own business. So I'm going to give you an example. So one thing is to ask distributors, can you sell this product? Is this a price? Blah, blah, blah. Another thing, and it's a little bit going back to Søren's about the investor thing. Another thing is calling, let's say, the 5 distributors and just saying, you know, we have this product. We want 2 distributors in this market or in this country to sell the products on, let's say, an exclusive basis for 6 or 12 months. So we want to know, we want to really choose the right distributors. And so we want to know, like, what are you interested in the product? How many units could you do a year? What is the commitment that you can make? What would you need from us? And then we want to go with 2. So which is the distributor that you would have the least competition with, or who would maybe, who you would benefit the most from having this kind of product? And they will give you the name of another distributor, which will create more sales for you. So that's turning the business from you approaching them to make them sell to you why they should be your distributor, and then you would get some volumes, like some kind of commitment out of it. Could that help you?
Yeah, no, that's precisely what the conversations with them is about. I have to admit that we do not have many choices in every market, and in some cases we do have exclusivity, and in contract, of course, we give exclusivity against a volume volume compromise. No.
Okay, good. So are they reaching these volumes?
Some of them. The thing is that when they're not reaching the volumes, I don't have any other alternative, so I keep them as distributors anyway, because it's better to have.
And they know, and so what you have, you cannot, if there's not a competitor that you can play them, you know, so there is something else. So there is, you have the exclusivity. When you reach this volume, you will get a kickback or something like that, which will make the business more profitable for them. Would that help?
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Because if there is no win for them to sell more, they won't sell more. Because, you know, salespeople are lazy.
Right. And again, this distribution strategy against or compared to the direct distribution, is this something that for us is something that is very defining, or maybe we're losing opportunities, or
it's
how would you?
I think there's also questions behind that question, and I'm going to ask some of these and see if they can help you in your process. So number one, sometimes when people are not, let's go back to the distributor. And so sometimes when people are not selling, a relevant question would be, so this is your commitment, this is what you've reached. So there's a difference. So how can we help you reach your commitment? Because you need to show them that you are serious about the commitment, but that you're also serious in supporting them. So if you start to ask the question, what can we do from our side to help you reach your commitment? And they will probably tell you, like, you need to develop this, blah, 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 blah. Okay, good, thank you. Now, what can you do on your side to reach the part of your commitment? Because they have to own their part of the commitment. And they will tell you, and then they can, like, it's a way of coaching them. Like, so what have you not tried? What have you tried that you need to try again? What like, is there any education or whatever you need to do internally? That's one thing. And for those who have reached their commitment, it's about, wow, you reached the commitment. So what is the next step? Like, what do we need to do to double the sales? How can we serve you? And what do you need to do to double the sales? And then you have like a discussion where you partner up. So it's not about going to court and like a court order, hey, here's your commitment. It's more about how can we partner up to, you know, reach more sales. So, and I think that's a relevant discussion to have with your distributors. Then number two, you said, should we go direct or should we go through distributors? So the difference between going through a distributor is that the kind of discussions you're going to have with them is about what do we need to do to move more products. The discussion you will have, are you talking about going directly to the users or not?
To the hotels, which are my clients.
Okay, so the discussions you would have with them would not be about what do we need to do to move more products. It would more be what kind of functions could you put in the program for us to use it or to buy it. So it's different discussions. So you would get feedback from their user point of view, and it's not, how should I say, if you have enough margin to have these kind of discussions, because sometimes it's harder to sell one product to one user than it is to sell 50 products to one wholesaler or distributor.
Yeah, that's correct.
So it's more, where do you want to be in the supply chain? Where do you get the most energy? Where do you get the most energy? Like, what part of the supply chain do you get the most energy in?
Sorry, can you rephrase that question? I don't understand.
Okay, so there's the supply chain. There is the innovator, the producer, the distributor, the retailer, and the user. Let's say that's the supply chain. You have a shorter supply chain. You have the innovator and the producer, and then you have the distributor, and then you have the user. So what's your dream scenario? Is it to sell to a distributor, or is it to sell to the user?
I mean, it matches more with our idea to actually keep us being the producer and innovator.
Okay.
And let others distribute. That's something that, yeah, I think we feel more comfortable in that role.
Okay.
Now, it's sometimes really frustrating that the number of sales, because you leave that function to an external company, then it's sometimes frustrating. But I believe that the conversations that we need to have with the distributors need to be maybe a lot more thought, put a lot more thought, like the questions you already suggested, which I have noted down.
Okay, cool. So because it's a perspective, either you are partners and you partner up in how to increase and maximize sales and profits, or you're just a supplier and they're just a customer. So it's a difference between partnering up or being a supplier and a customer.
Well, I don't want to monopolize, but there's another question about business development, which is strategic partners. Okay. Sometimes the focus is sell, 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 and in some cases, well, I've seen that partnering with a big company that might be in the future, or maybe an industrial partner, that might be, and how that is done, and how much energy it deserves. Okay, because in the travel industry, which is where I move, there are big companies that might be, for us, it would be ideal distributors. But in fact, it's very difficult to reach them because of scale. And we don't have the volume or the size or the structure to actually partner with them, because it's so time-consuming to go through or navigate through their organizations, and that for us it's you become really impatient about their moves and things like that. So I also would like your thoughts on this.
So I read somewhere that you're only 7 persons away from everyone on the earth.
Right.
And which means that you're probably like 2-3 persons away from the top people you want to talk to in each organization.
Right.
You just don't know it. So sometimes we ask ourselves, who do I know at this company? And maybe we don't. And then secondly, we ask ourselves the question, who do I know who knows somebody at this company? And we might not have that contact. So the third question is, who do I know who knows somebody at this company? And there you might find it. And then you're talking about size, like we are not big enough or whatever to serve them with our product. So the question you might want to ask those big-ass companies is, if they say you're too small, you might want to ask them, so what size do we need to be, or like, if we were the size that you wanted us to be, would you have bought our product? Yes or no? Yeah, but you're not that size. Yeah, but if we were, would you have bought it? Okay, bam, and they will tell you. And then the next question could be, so we are not that size. What could make you buy it anyway? And maybe they say nothing. And then you say, but if there was something, what would that be? Like, try to create some, you know, creative discussion with them instead of just, because there is a reason why they are successful. And sometime in the beginning they have been really creative. And they are longing for new stuff to happen in their business as well. And you might be the solution, like you might be the answer to their, you know, problems. You have something new, and you also have to find what's their why, like what would make you say yes to this product. And they will tell you. It might be the size, it might not be, because assumption is the mother of all fuck-ups, and sometimes we make a lot of assumptions about what we need to be selling instead of just asking, like, what do we need to do to get, you know, to get the sales? They will tell you.
Yeah.
Can you use something of that?
Yeah, thank you, Philip.
And thank you for stepping up, and you did the work for other people, so thanks, and really good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, good, cool.
So Philip,
Okay.
I had another hi from Nicole Bourmand. So I've seen that some people were able to write on the questions board, not the chat. So,
okay.
So Nicole, I will unmute you to see if you have any questions. Yeah. Yes, Nicole, hello? Nothing? I'm afraid not.
Okay.
Okay, well, Phil, I think that was very helpful. At least I hope so. Let's see. I'll let people write on the questions chat for one last time to see if anyone has any burning questions after some of the answers you gave, Jesus, which I actually thought was very helpful. Okay, no. Well, all right. I think that's enough time for today. Philip, thank you so much for being so on the ball to answer these questions. At this point, I'll just run the participants through some of the upcoming activities that we have. Perhaps I'll leave you the floor to just wrap up.
Okay. So yeah, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to, and really, again, thank you to the guys and who did the work for the other people also in the webinar. And to sum up, if I want to say something, I'm not the person to give advice, but I can give you a perspective. So when you're sitting there on your own and asking yourself and telling yourself what you need to do to expand your business, you can ask yourself the question. So, I mean, you might say that I need a new web page, or I need a new newsletter, or I need to do product development, or I need to have a better price list to be able to sell. So before you go on with those activities, ask yourself, so what's true in what I'm saying? I mean, not what I think or I assume. What is actually true in me having to have a new website to be able to sell? What do I know? And if you don't know, ask somebody for feedback. Like, give a customer a call, like, hey, would I sell more products if I had a better website? And they may say yes, or they might say no. Then you know. So don't assume. Ask yourself, what's true in this? What's not true in this? That'll save you a lot of time. So that's what I want to sum this up with. And I want to wish you all good luck with your businesses. And yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Philip. So just for the participants, we have some more webinars coming up in the next months. Starting with the 27th of February, there's a potential sources of investment delivered by Candace Johnson and Audra Shalal. On the 8th of March, you will be able to attend the Planning the Fundraising through an Effective Process by Antal Corali, partner and co-founder of Action Tribe, and Jacko Salmien, a member of FEBAN. On the 10th of March, Frida Hedin from Connect South Sweden will deliver a webinar on building your investment ready business plan and value proposition. And finally, on the 14th of March, communicate to investors. And so this will include presentations and negotiations delivered by Jaroslav Luptak from Newology Ventures and Amparo de San Jose from Yezedan. After this, we will go on to the academies, and actually 4 academies taking place. The first 3 in March, starting with Dresden, that's the Investment Academy. Then the 27th of March, the Lisbon Investment Academy. On the 27th in Lund, where actually Philip Diab is located, and I think he might well be one of our coaches. So please, this would be an incentive to come and get even more live coaching. Then we have on the 6th of April, the Ljubljana Investment Academy. And then these will be followed by the online qualifications, the one-to-one mentoring, and then finally in Barcelona on the 18th and 19th of May, the nnoVest Venture Forum. So thank you all for listening in today. I hope that by listening to some of the questions that were asked, this was able to also answer your own questions. And again, as Philippe said, wish you all good luck, and I wish you all a good day. So thank you. And thanks, Philip, again.
Thank you, everyone. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.